Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I've got 3 stories all with updates for you, but before we start that, I want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I have created a chameleon and a cookie and I'll be offering them to you in a limited amount. More details to come on that in an upcoming video. Let's jump right in. This story comes to us from Toast and Crumb. Am I the butthole for canceling my brother's wedding? To make a novel short, my 27 female brother, male 30, met his future wife, female 28 Ella, at a party 3 years ago. Honestly, we never got along, but I always tried to put up a peaceful front because my brother seemed blissfully happy with her. Ella was mean to me a lot, like a lot. She would make comments about my weight, my makeup, and especially my dog. She hated animals and hated that I would bring my lab, Toast, to my parents' or my brother's house. It always just felt like something aimed to hurt me. When the two got engaged, she asked me to be her maid of honor since she has no sisters or many girlfriends, and since my brother seemed thrilled, I obliged. What I failed to realize when I accepted the role was that to her, maid of honor meant planning the entire wedding. Like I was bookkeeping venues, florist, jazz band, everything. Even worse, she expected me to put my credit card down for all of it. My brother and her are not exactly well off, and since I have a well-paying job, I didn't mind holding the deposits, but it was starting to add up to a lot. Every time I asked Ella about it, she would say that it would all be paid back by her parents before the wedding. Well, flash forward to last week, about 3 weeks before the wedding, and she's unbearable to be around. She can't last more than a few sentences before snapping at anyone. So when I, of course, brought up the money, crap hit the fan. I asked if she had received the updated receipt of everything owed when she exploded. She called me a whole line of terrible names, but the one that stuck out was her saying, "What do you need the money for anyway? Your sick dog is dead now." My beautiful Toasty died about a month before this after he fought the bravest battle with cancer. He was my soul dog and I was devastated. I blinked at her and simply left the room, having no energy to even respond to something so cruel. I went back to my car, and after the 20 silent minute drive home, I parked the car and immediately called the vendor and canceled any deposit under my card. Every single one. After almost 20 calls, all that was left of her wedding was the dress and the flower arch. I texted my brother a short explanation. I told him that every vendor would be contacting him if they wished to keep their services, and they were now responsible for covering everything, and that I would no longer be attending. It was a matter of minutes before my phone started to explode, and I just turned it off. It's been a few days and I haven't talked to anyone but my mom, who thankfully understands where I was coming from. My brother has tried to call, but I just feel terrible, both about what I did and about what she said. I know what I did was extreme, but I also couldn't sit by and practically enable her cruelty anymore. I still can't help but feel bad for ruining my brother's big day. So I don't know. Am I the butthole for this? Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Logicales. It says, "Not the butthole. They were never going to pay you back. It's a good thing she showed how wicked she was before you got stuck with the bill. I'm sorry about your loss. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about what you did. They shouldn't be getting married if they don't have the money. If her parents were going to pay, they can put down their card for deposits. When you give family money, don't ever expect to get it back." Alright, I went digging through the comments on this one and I can't find a person that says that OP is the butthole, so let's jump into OP's update. Here we go. Alright, OP's update says, "First thing asked, me paying. Ella was promised a hefty wedding budget when she was younger. Between those years and the pandemic, they had to dip into that wedding fund. In the end, Ella only got a third of what she was promised. She insisted that most of what she had to go to the dress, but she would drone on about how there were so many things the wedding wouldn't have. and how it wouldn't be the wedding of their dreams. It was only like a week after that my brother came up and asked if I could cover a few costs of the wedding while Ella's parents made up the rest to pay it back. I do make a considerable amount more, and since this would be my brother's wedding too, I agreed. Stupid, I know. Second most discussed, Ella's treatment of me. Truthfully, she played the nice and loving girlfriend well to most, especially my brother. Even I thought she turned a new leaf a few times, but it would never last. Some of the comments she made wouldn't be always outwardly mean enough for a passerby to pick up, aka my brother. Along the lines of, "Oh, are you sure you want to go out in that? Something looser might be more comfortable." Or, "I would loan you a shirt, but I don't want to stretch it out." Mean girl comments, simply put. She lost many friends over her crazy notion of them being jealous of her, even accusing them of being in love with my brother. She had 2 other bridesmaids in the wedding, but they were barely close as well. Someone said it in the comments, being stuck between seeing Snow White and not being able to see the evil queen within. That's the best way to describe her. She's beautiful, but something is rotting inside. And maybe the most asked, did they stay together? I caved and finally answered my brother last night. From what he said, they are on a break. My brother had picked up on a few instances of her acting questionably, but hoped it was wedding stress. He was fuming when he found out what she said. I do know that she no longer has the ring. My brother and I's relationship is definitely going to need some repair, but I think after a long communication break and setting up better boundaries for partners and respect to siblings in the future, we should be okay. Also, yes, I did lose some money. Just as predicted, she hoped I would end up gifting the payments anyway. Ella had told my brother that she was waiting for a surprise check from her grandparents to completely pay it off. Check didn't exist. Thankfully, the no longer to be in-laws have agreed to sell the dress to pay me back for what I did lose, instead of legal action. Lastly, to my boy Toast, all of your sweet comments made me cry for an embarrassing amount of time, laugh out loud. I hope I made him proud. There will never be a day I don't defend that dog with everything I have. He is being lovingly remembered by his family and his little brother Crumb. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called ShotSpirit672. It says, "So many times I hear stories about someone being treated like absolute crap for no good reason. Usually, those stories end with the person just taking it from their abuser and serving no justice. You're a bad butt though, and reading how you handled this situation was satisfying AF. The world needs more people like you." Well, first of all, OP, condolences on losing your dog. That absolutely sucks, and it's heart-wrenching. And then you said the name of your puppy, and oh my gosh, the emotions are just flowing over here. Oy. I sincerely hope you and your brother can mend your relationship going forward, and it seems like that might be fairly easy to do now that she's kind of out of the picture. This story comes to us from Equivalent Tree 2A. Am I the butthole for telling my depressed brother he only has himself to blame for our parents not wanting to talk to him? Throwaway, and I'll try to keep things relatively short. My, male 34, younger brother Matt, male 31, was engaged to this woman, Emma, female 30, for the past year. Everyone in our family, my sister, parents, and myself, thought they were a perfect match. Emma was very polite, well-educated, had a great family whom we had met a few times, and was head over heels for Matt. Fast forward to 3 months ago, and Emma finds out Matt cheated on her with this other woman, Cindy, female 25. Needless to say, the marriage has been called off, and everyone has been beyond angry with Matt. Our parents haven't spoken to Matt since the fallout of what's happened, and even I have only spoken to him twice, each call lasting less than 5 minutes since then. Our sister has also not spoken with him either. This morning, I received a call from Matt saying that he wanted to reconcile with the family. He mentioned how upset and depressed he's been since making the worst mistake of his life, and how much he regrets his actions. I was listening up until this point, but got annoyed when he started mentioning how also Cindy wants to meet our parents and the rest of us. He told me that he left our parents a voicemail a few days ago, but they haven't responded and that he feels isolated from our family. I point blank told him that he only had himself to blame for this and that he clearly didn't think what he did was a mistake since he was still with Cindy. He said he just wanted us to give them a chance, but I told him I had to go to work and left the call while he was finishing a sentence, as I was very frustrated with him. Am I the butthole? Alright, OP's first update says, update, more context. For everyone suggesting that Matt found his true love in Cindy, that's questionable from my perspective. He still claims his current relationship with her is a mistake, and I'm fairly certain he has said as much to her in the past. OP put in a second update. It says, after reading some of the comments and doing some self-reflection, I have decided to reach out to my brother. It's true, he's done something terrible, and there is simply no other way of seeing it. However, despite the disappointment, I still do feel that I have a responsibility towards him at this low point in his life, especially considering that my parents and sister probably won't be reaching out to him. I called him. The call lasted about 20 minutes and offered to meet him in person, which did seem to cheer him quite a bit. I, however, made it abundantly clear to him that I have no interest in meeting Cindy. At this point, he said something that confirmed my suspicions on what he thinks of Cindy, but was still pretty surprising to hear him say. He told me that he's open to the idea of dumping Cindy if it helps build back his relationship with our parents and sister. When I asked him if he was sure about that, he said that she was small time and that she knew the risks of getting into a relationship with him, so her feelings would be on her. This whole situation sucks, and I don't even know what to feel or think about it anymore. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Traveling Techie. It says, to remain honorable, all he had to do was break it off with Emma before pursuing Cindy. Many people face this type of challenge and do the right thing. Not him, not the butthole. OP responded to this comment and said, this would have been much better, but apparently he didn't respect her that much to even be bothered to consider it. From the other side of this one, we have a comment from a user called GoldenGoof19. It says, so I'm probably going to be downvoted here, but you're the butthole and so are your parents. Matt made his bed when it comes to Emma, and their relationship ending is the result of that. And yeah, you're valid to be angry with him over that. But it's been 3 months and you're still cutting him off? Your own relative? You're choosing his ex's side over your own brother? Yes, he 100% sucks for what he did. And yes, you're 100% valid for being angry with him. But what he did is ultimately between him and Emma. Reddit is going to downvote me all to heck for this because they view cheaters as very black and white. So I'm going to reiterate, cheating is never okay. It's never something that should be excused within the relationship. But you and your parents were not within his relationship with Emma. And the fact that you are all cutting him off like this tells me you have a huge issue with boundaries, and you and your family were too involved in his previous relationship. I have never cheated, nor will I ever cheat. I've been cheated on and it sucks. But I never once expected my ex's family to choose my side over their own child or brother. Never. That's so weird to me. You do you, but he didn't cheat on you or your parents, and you acting like he did is so weird. I think I need to go with everybody sucks here because your brother cheated and cheaters suck, but you also pushed out your brother from your life, so you kinda suck as well. On the question of whether your brother is depressed or not, considering you put it in the title in quotation marks, I'd say he has every right to be depressed. He did a really dumb thing, but doing that dumb thing made him lose his relationship and also lose his family. That really sucks for him, and I can understand if he's depressed. Alright, let's get into OP's update post. It's titled, Update, Am I the butthole for telling my depressed brother he only has himself to blame for our parents not wanting to talk to him? It's been an exhausting few days, but enough has happened since my last post to warrant an update. So I ended up meeting with my brother to discuss what's been going on. We live in the same city, so arranging a time and place wasn't too difficult. After some small talk and a bit of catching up, we got straight into talking about what's been on his mind. He reiterated how he made a major mistake and wants our parents' and sister's acceptance. He also said that it's way too late for him to try reaching out to Emma, and even if he did, she would never accept. While he admitted responsibility, he also blamed Cindy and pointed out that meeting our parents was mainly her idea. He mentioned how he didn't consider their relationship too serious, despite what Cindy thought, and was annoyed that she kept pushing him to make things more official. He said that he had turned down requests from her for him to meet her family and friends, and that, so far, she's only met a handful of his friends. After saying all this, he told me that none of it mattered anyway since he broke up with her since I last spoke with him. He said that he wants a fresh start and thinks Cindy will stifle that. He mentioned how she was crying and didn't want their relationship to end, but he remained firm. What made me feel bad for her was when he mentioned how she has her thesis defense in a few weeks. But Matt said that didn't matter to him, as once again reiterated she knew the risks. He mentioned how Cindy has been texting him, asking why he's being so mean to her and why he ended things abruptly. He texted her back some pretty awful things, and I don't want to repeat them, that did get her to stop trying to contact him. The conversation ended with Matt requesting that I help him build up his relationship with our parents and sister again. I didn't make any promises, and only told him that I would do what I can. Maybe our parents might be convinced to meet with him down the line, but I'm not too sure about our sister. She told me that her entire image of him was shattered, and that it will take a lot of time for her to accept that. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Ornery Benefit 250. They said, "I think you should just stay out of it." And another commenter down below said, "I second this. Even with the best of intentions, you still may make things worse." OP, that's kind of where I am on this one as well. Rekindle your relationship with your brother if you want to, but you need to stay out of all that relationship stuff and really stay out of your brother rekindling the relationship with your sister and your parents, because that's really between them and not you. This story comes to us from Fit Purchase 99. Am I the butthole for refusing to split half of the check for dinner with my best friend like we usually do? My best friend, Vanessa, 24 female, and I, 25 female, have been friends since the 2nd grade. We've been supportive of each other's successes and accomplishments, and we're always there when one of us needed the other. We've also always split the check when we go out for dinner or brunch or anything like that. We've agreed to do that for a long time. Plus, it saves time and doesn't complicate things for us and the servers, and it didn't matter how much one of us ordered. She was the one who suggested it, and I was like, okay, sure. I'm not really a big eater, so whenever we would go out, I would only order about 15 to 35% of the entire price for both. Vanessa, on the other hand, always has a huge appetite and would order 65 to 85%. The percentages depend on the occasion, appetites, and the price of the food. Recently, Vanessa got a huge promotion at her job for which she has been working her butt off, and she wanted to celebrate. So she suggested that we go out to this fine dining restaurant nearby, and I agreed because she deserved it. But before I continue, I should add that a few weeks prior, my older sister Bianca told me how ridiculous it was that I was splitting the check by paying half of it when I would only order food that amounted to only a quarter of the check. So before Vanessa and I ordered our food, I told her that I wanted to only pay for the food that I will order. She said, okay. When she saw that I was actually paying for my own food, she was like, wait, you were being serious before? Yes, I was being serious. And she said, oh, I wouldn't have ordered so much if I knew you were being serious. The total bill was around $560, and I only ordered around $145 worth of food. I asked her why wouldn't she think I was being serious, and she said that it's because we've been splitting the check in half for so long that she literally thought that I was joking. I told her that I'm just sick and tired of paying half when I only order a small percentage. Like, I'm paying at least $50 to $100 more than I should every time. So she became a bit mad and said, "And you just decided to be a bitch and pull this stunt on the day when I got my promotion? Fine then, I will pay for my food." And she did, and just exited right after without even waiting for me, which was not cool because she had picked me up at my place and drove us here. So I had to call an Uber and pay $36 for the ride home. This morning, my phone is full of messages from my other friends saying that I was a butthole for demanding this on the day of her big promotion, and for being a cheapskate. I just don't want to overpay so much. It's fine if it's $10 to $20 more than what I ordered, but over $50, that amount can go towards necessities and bills. So, am I the butthole? OP added a quick edit at the bottom. It says, "Edit, I earn about $90,000 a year, minus or plus because I have several jobs, which includes dog training, for which I charge $80 to $100 an hour." Vanessa earned a little bit more with one stable job, and since her promotion, she now earns 6 figures. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called areddit. It says, "Not the butthole. Oh, I wouldn't have ordered so much if I knew you were being serious." Everything up to that point could have been an innocent mistake, but that comment shows she's been taking advantage of you. We quite literally don't need to go any further into the comments on this one because this Redditor completely summed up this story. OP, she's been taking advantage of you for a long time, and when you called her out on it, she left you high and dry and didn't even drive you home. This person is not a friend. Alright, OP updated this story. It's titled, "Update, Am I the Butthole for Refusing to Split Half of the Check for Dinner with My Best Friend like we usually do?" Firstly, thank you for all the advice and understanding from my first post, which can be found on my profile. But to quickly recap, Vanessa, my best friend, and I have agreed to always split the check in half no matter how much we ordered. She recently got promoted and took us to a trending spot, to which I've never gone before. The check ended up being a total $560, out of which I had only ordered around $145. This has always been the ratio in almost every dinner, brunch, or lunch, because she not only has a bigger appetite, she will also sometimes order the more expensive items, while I have a smaller appetite. Before we ordered, I had told her that I will be paying for my own food only, to which she had said, okay. But after we had eaten and she saw that I was actually paying for my food only, she said she thought I was joking about paying for my own food only, and said she wouldn't have ordered so much if she knew I was being serious. Ended up with her saying, "Fine then, I'll pay for my own food," and then she left without me. I felt like I was a butthole for doing that on her promotion day instead of having a conversation about it sometime before. But honestly, I never had a chance to bring it up, and after my sister had mentioned that I shouldn't be paying half when our orders were so unbalanced, I couldn't continue to do it anymore. Anyway, Vanessa has apologized for being mad and abandoning me at the restaurant because of the fight that we had, knowing that she had picked me up since my car was being fixed and I had to Uber home. I told her that since she had the promotion, she had to treat me to dinner and pay for the both of us like other friends do, to which she agreed and said that in order to make up for it, she will take me out to dinner and pay for the entire meal, which she did last night, and she stayed true to her word and even told me that I can order whatever I want no matter the price. We also had a long conversation about future dinners and stuff, and we agreed to pay for our own food and get separate checks unless either one of us wants to pay for the entire dinner, in the case of a promotion, celebration, or etc. I also want to address the male comments claiming that she's fat and we eat too much as women. First, we're both very fit and strong. I'm 5'7" and she's 5'9". Second, the $560 was because it was an expensive place. So if you think we ate too much, then you've never taken a girl out to a fine dining restaurant. Anyway, the conclusion is we resolved the problem, and I greatly appreciate all the good advice and comments. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Caver. It says, Good to hear that she apologized to you, but just keep in mind that she was deliberately taking advantage of you. Your split agreement was made based on convenience, but she directly admitted that she was taking advantage of the agreement and ordered more food than she would if she had to pay for it herself. You paying for more than your share was therefore not a coincidence. It was an active choice by her. So my question is, has she apologized for taking advantage of you? Because that's no way to treat a friend. This commenter has hit the nail right on the head. OP, look out for this in the future and in other situations, because she was willing to take advantage of you previously. There might be other places that she's doing this too. Have a good look at your relationship and determine if there's any other issues.